start. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Guru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutra Bhashya Vande Bhagavantau Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Mukti Bheda Vibhagine Vyoma Vatvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Muktaye Namaha Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Namaste all of you. So yesterday we saw some significant benefits of Vedanta. And even though I pointed out 3 very significant benefits, Vedanta doesn't stop there. In fact, Vedanta goes ahead and makes a very bold statement, which you might all have heard at some time or the other. Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, Pragyanam Brahma, Aham Atman Brahma. All these statements Vedanta makes. What does these statements mean? Tattvamasi means Tat, that Paramatma, Tvam, you, the individual Jivatma, Asi, is. So Vedanta says that you, Jivatma, is the Paramatma. There is no difference between you and what you consider as Ishvara or Paramatma. Now, for some people, this could be a very outlandish statement. How can Vedanta equate me, a poor, miserable, limited, everything is limited, knowledge is limited, our strength is limited, power is limited, everything is limited. Whereas that Ishvara, who is all-knowing, omniscient, omnipresent, and who is what you can say, Sarva Shaktiman, all powerful, how can these two be the same? But Vedanta boldly says that Tvamasi or Aham Brahmasmi. That Brahma means, Brahman means Ishvara, Paramatma. So when Vedanta is making this such a big claim of Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, etc. And for your information, these statements which are equating the individual with the total, the Vyashti with the Samashti, with the Jivatma with the Paramatma, these statements are all over the place in the Vedanta, in the Upanishads. And these statements are called Mahavakyas. Mahavakyas means not big sentences, but profound sentences. So these Mahavakyas is what we need to understand throughout this study of our Upanishads. How? Because this is an equation. What you can call a grand equation is being told to you. Jivatma is equal to Paramatma. This is the equation, right? Now, this equation is being solved in the entire teaching of the Upanishads. So that at the end of this learning, what you get is the solution how you equate the Jivatma and Paramatma, in what sense they are equal. So all those, that is the entire process of this Vedantic teaching. So that is why Vedanta becomes a very, very important goal for our life if we need to reach that moksha. And moksha is what I told you, inner freedom and liberation from the samsara and all. How will you get that? You will get that by this self-knowledge. And what is the self-knowledge? Jivatma, you the Jivatma, the self, is equal to Paramatma, the total, the samashti. This is the knowledge which the Vedanta gives, and that is, in essence, is what is the self-knowledge. Okay. But, of course, this is not the opportunity to go in detail into all these things, but you must understand that this is the whole gamut of Vedanta teaching, which I have told you in just 2 hours. I have learned it over 3.5 years. Even that is not complete. In fact, there's so much to learn. It's a never-ending thing. One lifetime is not enough. But if you have got the essence of it, if you have got the crux of the whole thing, then lot of benefits, like the 5 benefits I told you, Jigyasa Nivritti, Vidyananda Prapti, Karpanya Nivritti, and Aghata Nivritti, and Dakshata Prapti. All these 5 benefits you can enjoy as you travel in this spiritual journey. So this is what I just wanted to sum up the last 2 talks on what and why of Vedanta. Now, today we will talk about the human goals. I have been mentioning about the 4 human goals called Purusharthas, Artha, Kama, Dharma and Moksha. And we will today see little more in detail about what these 4 goals are, how the Shastras perceive these goals, and how our attitude towards these goals should be. We will see some details. Okay. So in my first talk, I told you that the goal of every human being is to be happy, isn't it? And as I said, this is a permanent goal of being permanently happy, and that eludes all of us, and we keep on trying to find out how we can be more and more happy every day. And I also told you that this moksha, the goal of permanent happiness, that subsumes all other goals. The other three goals are subsumed by this goal of moksha. And Vedanta talks about all these goals in a very structured manner, right? Because if you ask anybody today, what is your goal in life? Different people will give different answers. Some people don't even have any goal in life. They just want to get up in the morning, do their daily routine, and sit before the TV for some time to entertain themselves, eat at night, and then go to sleep and get up in the morning. What is the goal? What do you want to achieve? They have no clue at all. They say, as if I'm able to continue as I am, I will be happy. So that is their sense of happiness. And then suddenly one fine day, when they are getting up in the morning, they are not able to get up from the bed, and all the problems start, right? All the questions in their mind start. Why am I not able to get up from the bed? Why my back is paining, and all those things. They start. And if they have gone through this Vedanta, or at least understood what it is all about, they will find the answers themselves to all these questions. Okay. So these goals, these human goals, are called, as I said, Purushartha in the scriptures. And the aim of all our scriptures, all the Vedanta, everything, including Puranas and all, is to help a human being to achieve these goals, all the 4 goals, right? So we need to have a good understanding what these goals are, how they are classified, and how the scriptures look at these goals. Purusha, the word in Purushartha, means a human being, both male and female, right? But then somebody may say, no, no, Purusha means only a male, not a female. So it is not a Striyartha, but it's a Purushartha. So in order to avoid all controversies, let us say it is Manushyaartha. For our purpose, we will use Manushya, right? So this Manushyaartha means Purushartha, provided we remember what it is. Names of these terminologies are not very important, so long as we remember the content. And the word Artha has got many meanings. I told about that in the earlier class also. One meaning of Artha is meaning itself. Artham means meaning. Even in Tamil, Artham means meaning, right? Or Hindi mein Arth means meaning. That's one meaning. It's a very common meaning of Artha. Then there is another meaning for Artha called wealth, right? Artha Shastra, when we say Artha Shastra means the Shastra relating to wealth, creation, economy and all. So this is another meaning of Shastra, Artha. And the third meaning of Artha is what is used here. Artha means a human goal, not a human goal, a goal. Artha means a goal. And different goals are sought after by different people. And therefore, the goal of anybody, or any goal is called Artha. That's the third meaning of this word Artha. So if you combine the word Purusha and Artha, it becomes Purushartha in Sanskrit. So that is what is this word Purushartha means. We take the third meaning, which is the goal of the human beings. And of course, in the Shastra, if you see, the word Artha is also used in the sense of free will, right? It all depends on the context, the choices we make. Even the effort, the prayatna we make is also called Artha, right? So many different meanings are there, but the primary meaning in this context is the goal, human goal. Purushartha means human goal or Manushyaartha, human goal, right? And they are sought after only by human beings. There is no artha or goal for any animals or plants or any other type of living beings. Only human beings have got this human, they can have this human goal, because that is why they are distinct from all other species in this entire universe. As I said in the first class, that is why the human birth is glorified. And the Shastras, the Vedantas, the Upanishads keep on repeating again and again, addressing all the human beings. This birth that you have got, my dear sir, is not an easy thing. You have got this birth after probably crores of births in some other forms. And in this birth only you can actually use your free will to learn to pursue the spiritual goals. A cat, dog, cow or a bull cannot pursue any spiritual goals. Only in a human form you can do it. And this is a very rare opportunity that you have got. And if you don't use this opportunity in this life, then, it's a very sad state of affairs. In fact, the Chandogya Upanishad, if I'm not wrong, says that a person who doesn't use this opportunity to grow physically, mature physically in this life is like a miser, a kripanaha, it says. Because a miser, he is having all the wealth, but he doesn't use that wealth for the benefit, his own benefit or other people's benefit also. So this is the seriousness with which the Upanishads address. Kathopanishad says, Uttishta Jagrata Prapta Uttishta Jagrata. I'm forgetting that. So what it is saying is, because this human birth is so rare, please wake up, get up and go for this spiritual knowledge. This is what is the Upanishads say. Okay. And I've explained why the human beings are considered superior, because we have the free will, we have the intellect, the thinking capacity, analyzing capacity. All those things we are endowed with, which is different from the animals, right? But the Shastra says that if you compare, the human beings have got a lot of similarities with the animals also. There is a lot of what they call sadharmyam. And it is explained in a very beautiful shloka. It says, Ahara nidra bhaya maitunan cha samanya metat pashubhir narana buddhir hi tesham adhiko visheshaha buddhya vihina hai pashubhir samana hai. This is Sanskrit. Don't get rattled about Sanskrit and all. I will explain these words. So it's a very simple Sanskrit actually. It says, it first highlights the common aspects between human beings and animals, right? It says ahara. Ahara means what? Food. Nidra, sleep, right? Taking rest, or you can say, lack of activity. That's also nidra. And there are several ways of nidra if you look at it. But some animals sleep standing. Some animals need to lie down. And some humans also, if you travel by local train in Bombay or even by bus, sometimes I've seen, there are people who sleep standing also. They have to leave their house early in the morning, so they make up for the sleep in their journey to their office. So then some people, they sleep sitting. For some people, they have to sleep by lying down. They can get sleep only if they lie down. So all these things, there are all similarity in this nidra between human beings and animals. Then bhayam. Bhayam is another, fear is a common feature between animals and human beings. They all have got fear. Fear problem is there. Even today, we are so fearful of this coronavirus that we don't step out of our house. Right? There's a sense of insecurity, means basically, and which is common. Right? Then maithuna. Maithuna means propagation of one's own species through children, grandchildren and all. And this is also a common feature between human beings and animals. So these are all, these four, this ahara, nidra, bhayam, maithuna. All these four are common features between animals and human beings. Okay. So now then, what is the difference between human beings and animals? The sloka says, Buddhirhi tesham adhiko visheshaha, means intellect, thinking capacity, judging faculty, reasoning faculty, planning for the future, that is projecting the future, that also is a faculty we have, farsightedness, so many things. All these things, this buddhi, which we have got, they all come under, all these things come under this rational faculty of what we call buddhi. So this buddhi, only human beings have got. Animals do not have this buddhi. A cow, if it goes to a big grazing ground, and it finds that there is a lot of grass, green, fresh grass in this rainy season, very tasty grass. It will eat that grass. To eat till its stomach is full, isn't it? But can the cow or will the cow actually say, okay, this is available here today, and I have to come all the way, maybe 2-3 kilometers for this grass. Let me do one thing. Let me pluck some of this grass and take it home and keep it so that tomorrow I don't need to come here. I can eat this grass at home itself. If it is a human being, he will do, not a cow. Because only a human being can plan for tomorrow. A cow cannot plan for tomorrow. Right? And then it says, the Shastra says that if you do not use this buddhi, this intellect, all this special faculty given to you, you are as good are as bad as animals only. And so this is how this sloka ends, right? And because of this buddhi only, as I said, human beings can have goals in life. And Shastra talks about 4 goals, as I said: Artha, Kama, Dharma, and Moksha. And in all our prayers, what we should continuously seek is the blessings of the Lord, blessings of Ishvara for the fulfillment of all these goals in our life, without any exception. Now we will see what these goals are in brief. Right? And these goals can be short-term goals and long-term goals also. It doesn't matter. So first is Artha Purushartha. Artha has, as I said, many meanings, but in this context of human goals, Artha means security. Anything that we procure for the sake of security comes under the definition of Artha. And this goal of security has got many layers, right? The first layer is sheer physical security we look for, and that's the beginning. In fact, if you look at it, those management students who are there is in management, there is a model called Maslow's model, right? And Maslow's model has actually been designed on the basis of these human goals only, these Purusharthas only, right? But if you tell anybody Purushartha, nobody will understand. You say Maslow's model, they will understand. So you can actually relate the Maslow's model with these 4 goals of human life. So management students can easily relate to what these goals are about, right? So at the basic stage is the goal of security. We want physical security for ourselves, right? This is the, and this goal is instinctive goal. Actually, it's right from the birth we have this goal of physical security. And this is a very natural urge. It's not only for human beings, but also for animals, right? So more or less you can say that this goal is given when we are born. We are born with this goal of Artha, that is physical security. That only to the extent of physical security, not beyond that. Because Artha has got more layers also for applicable to the human beings. So that anything that which provides us with security, for example, house or food, clothing, health, all those things, roti, kapda, makan, as they say in Hindi, these things all come under physical security and everybody requires it. And even as a child, we have actually experienced that when a child feels insecure, it cries. And when it is picked up and fondled, the crying stops and the child feels secure in the hands of some person, maybe mostly mother or father or grandparents or something, right? So when the child is hungry, it cries because again it's a food related insecurity. When they feed the child, the crying stops. So the food is also a form of security right from birth. Then clothing, like winter clothing, summer clothing, we have got so many, helmet, security, seat belts in the car, security. Even these masks that we are all wearing these days, isn't it? They are also security only. Right? We want to secure ourselves against all this virus. That's also security. So all these things produce security to our body. Then the house, which is a shelter, which secures us from the vagaries of the weather and summer, winter, rain and all that. So we need a house, again physical security. Then health security like medicines and tonics, whatever it is. I mean, we all take a lot of stuff for medicine, including a lot of formulas these days are coming for improving your immunity. They're all what? I mean, they're all health-related security we seek. That is a goal, Artha security-related goal in our life. So this is necessary for one's survival. Even though human beings need to provide these things themselves, animals have also got this security problem, but then in many ways God has been very kind to the animals. Like for they don't require a house and things like that and all. If it is raining or heat or cold or anything, God has given them very thick skin so that it doesn't affect them much. Right? So that way, they have advantage. But human beings, because you have this intellect, the free will, God has said, okay, go and provide for yourself. You go and search for yourself. Maybe first 2-3 years of your life, I will take care that your parents take care of it. But after that, you have to fend for yourself. So this is the first layer of security. Second layer of security is what we do for future. For example, we do provide for some security in old age, like pension, or investment in some mutual funds or fixed deposits, even buying a senior citizen's home. All these things we do is the second layer of the security. It is not only securing our present, but we try to secure our future also. This is the second level of security which we have as a goal, and we pursue those goals. Actually, in olden days, all these problems were not there because people had a lot of children and they thought that all these children in our old age will take care of us. But then things have changed. In fact, today we have to take care of the children. It has turned out that way, in fact. So anyhow, the point I'm trying to make is that we have to follow, as a human being, we actually not have to, we do follow certain goals which will secure our future, post-retirement time, post-retirement period, right? So this is the second layer. We also take this accident insurance, medical insurance, so many things all will come under this second layer of trying to secure our future. Then the next layer of security is whatever we have procured for our security, we have to secure that, isn't it? So we have to provide for security of the security which we have secured. For example, we buy a house, right? And as I said, it was for physical security. But there is a destruction, there's a risk of destruction of that house due to earthquake or maybe some other factor. So what we do, we buy an insurance policy. So the insurance policy in this case is a security for the security which was initially a security for our living. So this is securing a security. Then suppose we buy a big house, a bungalow, independent house. I want to buy, somebody will have this. But then we are afraid of burglars and thieves coming into the house. So what we will do, we will appoint one person to be a security for this security of big bungalow, right? So this is the next layer. Securing the security already secured is the third layer of security that we all pursue, right? So this kind of pursuit of securing the security of the security of the security goes on throughout our life. On and on it goes, and it's like a legendary Hanuman's tale. It doesn't end at all. Throughout our life we keep on doing, even after retirement, when we should be very, we should take life easy. Still we will be looking at our mutual fund investments, where we are getting more interest, where we are getting more return, and keep on bothering to move the investment from here to there to here, stock market crash, tension, anxiety, depression, all these things, we keep on going. All this comes under this Artha Purushartha, all this security business, 3 layers, right? And as I said, whole life we spend in this. And what is the underlying purpose? The underlying purpose is Abhaya Prapti. Freedom from the fear of insecurity is what we are trying to reach. That is our goal, isn't it? But in the process, one security gives rise to certain kind of fear, and then we go for another type of security. Then the second type of security gives another kind of fear, and then we go for a third kind of security. So this fear never goes away from our life. We continue to be in a very fearful state because we have, such a possessive, possessiveness for all these things, that this fear of losing those possessions always haunts us. So this is the Artha Purushartha. And even in this also, just in ordinary clothes is not enough. We go for designer clothes and so many things, You can go on imagining what all things that we are doing for our security, which may be different from person to person. But in general, you can think what all things we do for this Artha Purushartha. We have never understood as Artha Purushartha, but in essence, this is what we do. Then the next is Kama Purushartha. What is this Kama Purushartha? Once the physical security aspects have been taken care of, and there is no threat to survival, and we have also collected enough money for not only us, our life, but few generations also. We have our own house, etc. What else to do? Entertain yourself. Have desires. Let me have more comforts in my life. Even though the house provides me security from the heat of the sun, but still inside the house it is very warm. So let me buy a fan. If I can afford, I can buy one AC. Still, if I can afford, I can actually make the whole house centrally air conditioned. Wherever I go, including the toilet or kitchen, all nice, lovely, atmosphere, cool. So this is the Kama Purushartha. These are not for physical security. Physical security is already done. Now these are desires. These are comforts that you look forward to. So these are all for enjoyment, luxury, even all sorts of entertainment. Now you have got enough money, you don't know what to do, you got a lot of time, buy one big 65-inch TV, sit before that whole day, enjoy. And if you have got a very, accommodative, the couple are very friendly and accommodative, maybe some popcorn will come or some, eateries will come, both of them will sit before the TV and enjoy all the shows. So all these things are all coming under the Kama Purushartha, right? Even animals have some semblance of this Kama Purushartha. Because if you see an animal actually standing in the hot sun, it will look for a shade of a tree or something where it can go and stand. So animals also have instinctively got this requirement or this desire for a comfort, a bodily comfort. So you can say Kama Purushartha slightly is there in animals also. But in human beings, it is fully blown. No limit to imagination of your what all desires that you can have. So this is the second Purushartha, which is Kama Purushartha. Of course, I should say here that there are some people in this world who their whole life is spent only in Artha Purushartha, in trying to secure their life, secure the survival of their family and all that. And for them, this Kama Purushartha is a very far cry. Right? So they actually spend their time only in Artha Purushartha. But otherwise, people like us and all that, we have this second goal of Kama Purushartha, which is desire to make the life more comfortable, more enjoyable. So this is Kama Purushartha. Then the third Purushartha, which the Shastra talks about, is Dharma Purushartha. Now the word Dharma has got different meanings. I told you in the very first lecture on the explaining Sanatana Dharma, right? here the word dharma in the context of a goal or a purushartha is not the dharma we talked about there. Here, dharma is defined as an invisible form of wealth. I repeat, invisible form of wealth, which we can roughly translate as good luck or good fortune. Because even good luck and fortune for us, if we go in our own way, we need to have it as a goal and work towards it. It won't come on its own. And we all know how to go about it, right? Our Shastras are full of recommendations and prescriptions for that. He says, do all punya karmas. The more and more punya karmas you do and earn more and more punyam, that will lead to a very favorable life, very favorable situations in your life. So your goal, Shastra says a human being's goal should be to go towards this or perform all these dharma karmas. Lead a dharmic life as per the injunctions of the Shastras, and also do a lot of reach out karmas, help the poor people and all that. And this will translate in the form of good luck or good fortune and all is what we say. Now, many times we say, somebody is flourishing and doing very well. We say, oh, that fellow, he has got a lot of punya. He is very lucky, very fortunate that he is having such a wonderful life. So all these things we know. Indirectly, we realize that he has done something for him to earn this kind of a life. But this dharma, this punya is adrishta. You can't see this punya. You cannot say, okay, I will earn all this punya and deposit in your account, and then I will take it from there. You cannot do anything. But even though you cannot see this punya, these punyas get accumulated in your karma account. Right? And that is the basis on which the life becomes, all these opportunities and all come in our life. So, this dharma purushartha has to be acquired through proper means, the way the Shastra has prescribed. Right? I think there is some sound coming. I request everybody to mute their.
Swamiji, you are in mute.
Hari Om Mama, you are on mute. Kekala, unmute panikonga.
Okay. Sorry. I'll repeat what I said. So, this dharma, as I was saying, can be acquired by the appropriate means which are said in the Shastra. They are all prescribed in the Shastra. And this dharma contributes to our life in two ways. In this life itself, this dharma contributes by providing all the artha and kama, by helping us to realize all our goals relating to artha and kama. This is one way this punya or this dharma helps us in this life itself, right? Because both this, one is setting the goal, achieving the goal, not only requires efforts, but also this adrishta. You may plan so many things and you may even work for it. But if you have to achieve what you have planned or you have set as a goal, you require a certain unseen help. Let's just say the help of God or Ishwara's anugraha. We use so many terms, but what we require is this dharma. This punya earned through this dharma is what we require. So that is why, even though this is unseen and adrishtam, we need to work, keep this as a goal in our life and work towards it, right? Because anything which we achieve in our life requires the right efforts, which will be in our control, to be in the right place at the right time. So right efforts, if you are not in the right place at the right time, will not give you the result you want. And if you are in the right place and the right time, and if you fail to put in the right efforts, even then you will not be able to achieve your goals. So that is why the combination of all these three is a must for us to achieve anything, any goal in our life. And this right place and right time is what this dharma provides us. That if we have a goal, it will make the circumstances such that you actually land up at the right place, the right time, and then your goal is fulfilled. And which I can tell you, if you sit back and then introspect, you will find so many instances in your own life where this actually has worked, and you can recall that, right? So this punyam or good fortune, whatever you say, we have to acquire through this dharma purushartha, and this is one way the dharma contributes to our present life. Then the Shastra says that this dharma also contributes to your life in the next birth, especially in the initial stages of your life. Because the first 2 years or 3 years of our life are very, very crucial stage, right? We all know that as human beings, and even for animals also it's more or less the same. Very crucial, the initial stage of life, right? Things can happen which are not in our control. For example, what type of a birth that we are going to get is not known to us. What type of parents we get is not in our control. We have no choice in all these things. And whether we get both the parents or only one parent also is not our control. In many cases, whether we are going to be born with all our faculties intact or whether we are going to be born with some things missing, right? We don't know. Nothing is in our control. So the first 2-3 years of life is a very, very crucial period. And during that period, if we have to get the necessary protection, if we have to get the a good life, a comfortable life, it is only this dharma which is done in the past life is going to help us. Because in this life itself, you have not started doing anything. You are a small child. So you have not earned any punya. You don't even have artha kama goals. Whatever is there, only instinctively something you have got. So you have not earned any punya in this life. So it is only the past life punya is going to ensure that you are in this life for at least for the first few 2-3 years of your life. This punya helps you in giving a comfortable life, right? So just to summarize, in this life, what does this dharma do based upon the past life punyas? Gives you a good parentage, a good family environment, good food. In fact, so many small children, they suffer without even getting food. You see, so many photos and all. Good clothing, good shelter, nice home, comfortable home, good values they give throughout your life. And everything good that you can label as good comes to you in this life many times because of the dharma coming to you, the adrishta punyam coming to you from the past. So this is how the dharma contributes both to this life as well as the future life, right? And the initial years of the life is very, very crucial because they are what we call formative years, right? And in fact, psychologists say that many of the emotional conditions which are there in adults, in the adulthood, is heavily determined by the childhood life, right? But we have no control over the present childhood. So we cannot determine how our parents will bring us up, isn't it? So if we want to control our childhood in the next janma, it can be done only through dharma purusha. In one way, it is like planning for the future, not for this life, but the next life. So this dharma becomes very extremely important and it has to be pursued as a goal of life. So artha, kama, dharma are the three human goals that we have seen. And this dharma, as I said, is a subtle form of wealth. It's invisible, adrishtam, and also it is a critical element in the achievement of both artha and kama. And that is why whenever we talk about the Purushartha, we put dharma as the first. Dharmartha kama is what we say. In fact, many of you will do puja and all that. In the Sankalpa, it is said dharmartha kama. The reason being, two reasons are there. One is dharma is the most important, so you put it first. And second thing is, even this artha and kama pursuits, you have to do keeping dharma in mind in a dharmic way. So you should not do any of this pursuits artha and kama in a ardharmic manner. So from that angle also, this dharma gets a very important role in our life. So that is a worthwhile goal to pursue. And these three goals are in the Shastra commonly put together called preyaha or prayas, right? So prayas is one word which is dharma plus artha plus kama. These three together is called prayas. So anything that form anything that we acquire in the form of our security or desires, like fulfill our desires, and also this invisible wealth of dharma, punyam, adrishtam this is called prayer. And if you remember, in the very first talk about dharma, I told you about Vishnu Sahasranamam, how Adi Shankaracharya has defined this word dharma. He used the word abhyudaya, right? So this prayer is the same as that abhyudaya, right? So this is how we have to understand these three Purusharthas. Fine. Now there is a fourth Purushartha, and that is what? That is called moksha. In general, based upon the Puranic teaching and all the Puranas and all that, we all have got an understanding that this moksha is something which happens after our death. So our life here, we should only focus on this artha, kama and purusha and dharma. Once you have done enough of dharma, then you will get moksha. Even though they also say moksha means there is no rebirth. But the Puranas don't explain the process or the reason why moksha means this. If you do this dharma, you will not get rebirth and all that. That explanation is not there. That explanation is there only in the going to some Vaikuntha or some, Kailasa and all that, or Jannat or whatever is not moksha. That is again taking another form of life in a different place. That's all. Like being Indian, dying in India and being born in America. Like that you will be born in Kailasa or Vaikuntha, in those worlds. So that is not the concept of moksha which Shastra or especially Vedas talk about. Moksha is the fourth Purushartha as a human goal to be pursued in this life itself. So that is why it's called the four Purusharthas. Otherwise the Shastras would have said, you do these three well and then automatically you will be qualified for moksha. No, Shastra doesn't say that. Moksha is a goal you have to pursue. Deliberately pursue. Pursue with full free will, using your free will. Right? So we will see what is moksha. Moksha means mukti. Very simply put. As I said, liberation or freedom, inner freedom. So many ways it is described in the Shastras, different Upanishads define it in different way, all meaning the same thing. Right? But is it economic freedom? No. This is not economic freedom or a political freedom or whatever it is. This is an inner freedom. A freedom which we have to seek from the bondage which we have created by all the three goals of Artha, Kama and Dharma. Right? Looks very strange, isn't it? What the Shastra is saying is, do all these Artha, Kama and the Dharma goals, but when you are satisfied with all these things, understand that these are not going to give you a permanent solution for all your problems. The permanent solution for your problems lies only in moksha. And not only permanent problems in this life, but also permanent problems, future permanent problems in future lives also. This moksha purushartha alone can ensure that you are rid of all these problems. As I said in the last class, the main problem that we all face is this punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. So if you pursue this moksha purushartha and are successful in that goal, and it is not an easy goal, mind you, it is a very, very, very tough goal. But you must have it as a goal. And if you don't start at all, where is the cost of pursuing? Isn't it? Set it as a goal, start pursuing, try to find out what is the roadmap for this goal and go in that roadmap. And then let us see what happens, whether you get that freedom or not. And the beauty is, Bhagavan Krishna, actually Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita asks this very, very relevant question to Bhagavan Krishna. He asks, okay, I pursue all these things, I go in this spiritual path and towards moksha or this inner freedom. What happens if I die? This body falls before I get this inner freedom. Right? Arjuna asked this question to Bhagavan Krishna. And Bhagavan Krishna says, okay, now Arjuna has come in line. He is understanding what I am trying to teach him. Right? Initially, that was not the case. So Bhagavan Krishna says that one advantage of this moksha is that this moksha pursuit is that in your next birth, you will get a family. In fact, you will get a human birth, because only in the human birth you can pursue this moksha. So Arjuna's question was whether in my next birth I will have to start from zero. I mean, set the meter to zero and again start doing all these things or not. So for that, Bhagavan Krishna says that you don't need to repeat what all you have done in this janma, but in the next janma, you will continue from where you have left off, and you will get a very conducive family, conducive society, conducive everything. You will get a guru, and you can pursue this in your next life, and then you can get this inner freedom of moksha in your next life. This is what Bhagavan Krishna says. And we have seen the example of that. Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi is the greatest example, isn't it? In fact, somebody asked Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi that you have not gone to any Gurukulam, you have not studied all this Vedanta, you have not done anything. How come you have become a Mukta Purusha, you have got this moksha? So the answer of Bhagavan Maharishi, Ramana Maharishi was very simple. He asked, what do you know about my previous birth? You don't know anything. So let us leave it, let us not go into that. But that example is a great example to establish what Krishna promises Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. So we have to understand that this Moksha Purushartha, once you start, there are certain guarantees which the Shastra gives. The first guarantee you get is you are sure to get a human life, right? So that itself is a very big guarantee, because if you don't do this, we don't know what kind of a life we are going to get. The second kind of guarantee is that you will continue this, because this is the ultimate, this is the last Purushartha. So you will continue to pursue this in your next life also. So we don't need to have a tension or an anxiety, okay, I start into this Vedanta, if I don't get moksha by the end of this life? That anxiety we need not have. We just need to, the Karma Yoga attitude, continue to do what is required to be done. That is what it says, right? So, we have to, what this Moksha Purushartha starts doing is, it analyzes the Dharma, Artha, Kama, Purushartha, and what all possessions that we acquire and what all things that we are looking forward to. It analyzes that, and then it highlights the fact that these three Purusharthas actually are enslaving you in two ways. You become a slave to these things, right? How a person can become a slave to something either by its presence or its absence, isn't it? I'll explain this statement. When a particular object or a person is not there, it's absent, I feel a vacuum. I feel an emptiness. I feel, if I feel worthless, then that object or the person is capable of enslaving me. And we have seen this in personal relationship. Tere bina kya jeena and all that, I mean, without you, how I can live and all that kind of, that's what? It's a very profound statement of slavery only, right? So, the other thing is, we have seen in all romances and all that, the person with whom you are in having a romance, I won't call it love, because love in my dictionary has a totally different definition. But okay, let us use the word love. Somebody is in love with somebody, so I'll go on thinking about that person, what that person, there's obsession with that, right? This is what? Slavery only. You are slave to another person. Absence of that person makes you a slave, because the person is occupying your mind throughout the all the time. So otherwise, the other thing is, I do not have this, I don't have a car, I don't have a bangla, I don't have money, I don't have a girlfriend. This is also, some people have got a problem with that. Or girls will say, I don't have a boyfriend. All these are all obsessions, because we see so many things, advertisements, so many things are there. So a thing can bind me by its absence and enslave me, make me devote all my attention and time towards that absent thing, right? And it is very easy to understand, things or persons can bind me by their presence also, isn't it? Because for many people, the absence of their spouse is not a problem. It is the presence of the spouse is a problem. Isn't it? Similarly, children. Absence of children is not a problem. Presence of children is the problem. Ask any mother with small kids, 8, 9-year-old kids, right? Similarly, money. Absence of money is not a problem. Too much of money is a problem, rather. They don't know what to do with it, right? They will invest in land, in stock market, here, there, and all that. The land will be taken away by some politician. stock market will crash, and banks will say that, we go on reducing the interest rate, the fixed deposits. All these things, we become slave to these things. And so by presence also, all these artha, kama and dharma can make us slaves for all this, right? An obsession is there in our life. So poverty is a problem, excess of prosperity is also a problem. Presence is a problem, absence is also a problem. And this is the slavery with regard to the prayers, which are external goals, and it's a bondage. This is what the Shastra says, that you need to get rid of this bondage if you have to get that freedom, inner freedom in your life. And this bondage is what is otherwise called samsara also. These are all technical terms which we need to understand. As we go, we will go on understanding this. And freedom from this slavery or from this bondage is what is called moksha. So this is the definition of moksha. Means what? Moksha, in another way you can see, is it's a mastery over your own self. So when things are absent, I don't feel a vacuum at all. When things are present, I welcome them and they are not burdensome to me. It is like the shoes, For example, Swami Paramathananda gives this example of shoes. When we don't have shoes, we have one kind of problem. Because when we walk in the hot sun, we get blisters in our legs, right? In our feet. So we buy shoes. Now the shoe is not fitting properly. And initially, all these shoes, especially I've seen in India, the leather shoes which we used to buy. Initially, few days, we get blisters because of using the shoe. So either I am burdened with blisters without shoes, in the absence of shoes, or I am burdened with blisters by using a shoe or by acquiring a shoe. But if the shoe fits properly without any problem, then there is no burden at all. Therefore, moksha is like a shoe which fits exactly well in your feet. I am comfortable without things, and also I am comfortable with things. I don't look forward to anything so that if I don't get it, I get disappointed or depressed. At the same time, whatever comes to me, I don't reject it. I don't say, no, I don't want these things and all that. Of course, I am talking about good things, not other things. So I don't say, if there is an AC in the house, I enjoy the AC. If there is no AC in the house, I am not desperate to get an AC to fix that thing. This is what is the inner freedom, the emotional state of mind, the equanimous state of your mind, which we need to achieve. And that is the goal of this moksha purusha. Right? And this in Shastra is called Shreyas. Like I said, the other thing is called Prayas, this is called Shreyas, right? So this is what Adi Shankaracharya calls in the Vishnu Sahasranama Nishreya, if you remember that particular terminology. So Shastra says that this moksha purushartha is the most important purushartha, the primary purushartha every human being should pursue. The dharma, artha, kama goals are relevant for human life. They are necessary also, but they are only secondary. So do not become a slave to the dharma, artha, kama, dharmartha, kama, purusharthas. Don't be obsessed with those goals in life. Pursue this moksha purushartha, which will make your life completely free from all your troubles. And when you are totally free from all your troubles, what is your emotional state? Happiness and happiness and happiness only. You won't have any emotional issue at all in relation to any of these things, right? So this is the state of the inner freedom. This is the state of moksha. This is the state of liberation. And we need to understand this, analyze all these things, and then pursue all our goals in the spirit in which the Shastra talks about all these 4 goals. So with that, this talk is over. It has taken a few extra minutes because of some disturbances that we had in the middle. I wanted to finish by 8 o'clock, but it's okay. One more thing I just wanted to let you know, all of you. Few students have asked me that what you are saying in these talks are all very profound, but it's extremely difficult for us to remember all these things, and which is very true. I mean, it's not that once you hear all these things and you are going to become, a moksha purusha. It takes years and years and years of practice. And there's a reason for all these things, why it is like that. Because Shastra is telling you, as I told in the first talk, you are not what you take yourself to be. Once you understand what your real nature is, then you will get this moksha. But to understand what your real nature is, we will have to, work towards it. I'll give you a small example. We all have names which has been given to us from childhood, right? And everybody calls us by those names. Suppose one fine day we say that we want to change our name. For example, let us say my name is Ganapathy. I say from tomorrow I decide that I want to be called Krishna, right? How easy it will be for me to change. If anybody calls me Ganapathy, will I not immediately respond? And if anybody calls me Krishna, will I not think that he is calling somebody else and not me? So even when we get so much attached to a simple thing as a name, which we have been used throughout our life, you can imagine the difficulty to overcome the personality which we have developed over crores of ages, crores of rebirths. So we have to get rid of all this past orientation, the past, thinking, the past, the way in which we have actually behaved in the past. And that's not an easy thing. But it is not difficult also. It is doable. People have done it and they have become Mahatmas. They have become Mukta Purushas. So for us, if we want that to be our goal in our life, we just need to start working towards it and leave it to itself with Ishwara's grace and with all our past dharmas, everything, the punyas we have got. The law of karma will automatically take us through that path. So that is what I want to tell people, that don't get anxious that you are not able to remember and all that. It doesn't matter. But you can keep some notes and things like that and all. In any case, these videos I will be posting. So if you want to know something, you can go and listen to the videos again and again. And, there are a lot of books. I mean, as we go forward, right now, there are no books because this material and all I have taken from here and there and all from my own teaching, listening to Swami Paramathananda's lectures and all that. So I cannot tell you, read one book and you will know all these things. That's not possible. But you just have to, like you learn anything in school or college, you have to go through a process of learning. And after some time, automatically, you will start understanding these things or, internalizing these things slowly. So this is what I wanted to tell all the students. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Any questions are there?
Thank you, Ji.
Are there any questions? You can. No questions. Okay, no problem.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Hari Om, Mama.
Hari Om Ji.
Thank you.
Hari Om. Namaste Ji.